seems bad, but I don't think it's as bad as what comes next. Angela, that's crazy. You're being hyperbolic. That's so crazy. We physicists like to pretend to be the most important scientists, but like obviously it's medical doctors, right? Obviously. What happens when you don't have a functioning government and you defund all the science? Measles outbreak, a preventable disease that kills people and also is like literally one of the most infectious diseases we've ever seen. And people just, LOL, I'm not going to vaccinate my kids for that. They've done their own research. They got the measles vaccine and their parents got the measles vaccine, but is their kid good enough to get the measles vaccine? They saw a TikTok that told them not to do it. And what does the government say? Well, a functioning government would encourage people to get the MMR vaccine. A functioning government might even say that people who don't have vaccines shouldn't be allowed in public places because it's a health, safety, and security issue for the entire country. Measles is very infectious. What does the government say when there's a measles outbreak? By the way, you shouldn't do that. I always get comments that tell me, you're being a little condescending. And yeah, I mean, we can check the dictionary definition of condescending, and I think I would fall into that category. These people have failed their children. They are bad parents. 1 in 4 unvaccinated kids who get measles will die. They are playing Russian roulette with their child's life. But sure, the problem is that I'm being like a little condescending. But I would rather them get mad at me and then take their child to the doctor and get them vaccinated and their child, stays alive and grows up to become an adult. Am I being condescending when I tell you historically it's a devastating illness that literally kills children specifically? I know that these people are victims of a propaganda campaign, but like, come on. It's been the same vaccine since 1968. You can just go to the library and open an encyclopedia and look at the pictures of it's measles. You didn't get your kid the measles vaccine. And me telling you you're a fucking idiot for not getting your kid the measles vaccine, is that condescension or is that a life or death situation? Children die when they get the measles. Even if they don't die, like they could go blind, they could be hospitalized for months. What if you failed to protect your child, do the basic level of parenting anyone could imagine to do? Your kid gets the measles. And maybe they don't die. Do you know how infectious the measles are? They're going to give every kid that they come in contact with who's unvaccinated the measles, right? Are you going to tell Brixley that she's the one that gave her classmate the measles and that's the reason you're going to her funeral? Is she going to have to look at their parents? I mean, because obviously it would still be your fault. She's going to think it's her fault. She's going to have to grow up knowing she infected her friend and they died from the measles. This is a preventable situation. Obviously I am vaccinated and everyone I know and love and would ever choose to spend time with has gotten their vaccines because they care about me and they care about the other humans in the world because that's the whole point of living in a society. But that's the thing about diseases, right? Like it spreads and it mutates and then maybe the vaccine doesn't work anymore. That's why it's so important that everybody gets vaccinated. But no, I don't want to hang out with the people who have measles. And I'm kind of over it. It's just been 15 years of these weirdos who are like, I'm a little cautious. I did my own research. And they're lying, by the way, because if they did their own research, they would have read the numerous studies that show the efficacy of the MMR vaccine. They would have seen that it's the same vaccine since the 60s. They would have known that their parents had it and they had it and they're fine. Except the best part is they never got the measles. They did their own research by reading a blog or watching a TikTok. They're going to look me in the face and be like, actually, I have researched it. They're lying and they're putting their child at risk to support this lie that somehow they're smarter than every single medical doctor that's ever existed. And I'm tired of it. I'm just past the point of protecting these people's egos and sitting there quietly while we pretend that they have anything to say, or risking their child's life to feel some sort of superiority over people who, trust and respect doctors who have gone to school and studied these things and done research over decades and decades and to save the lives of hundreds of millions of people by creating these wonderful things. And we're supposed to sit here and let those people in our society. I'm tired. There's literally a measles outbreak. The children, I know murder is a word with legal implications, but this family that, allowed their child to die from a preventable illness because they couldn't take the basic single step you take as a parent to protect your child from preventable illnesses, watched her die from that illness and then go on the news and be like, I think I made the right choice. Imagine being responsible for your child's death and having to live with that and having every person in your life know that you're responsible for her death and then going on the news and be like, actually, we did our own research. I understand that psychologically they must have some sort of block that is preventing them from realizing the severity of the failure of raising their child that they are supposed to love and cherish. It's a basic, simple, well-researched thing you can do. And now there's a measles outbreak and so many children will die because their parents don't give a shit about them. And we live in a world where the government should step in, because we all pay taxes, we all contribute to society. That's the whole point, that they protect us. And they provide things for us because that's what we're doing here. And the government's like, congratulations on doing your own research. We're all so glad your daughter's dead. This guy wants your kids to die. And people are just like, cool. They could have prevented her death and they did not. They failed their child. And now their child is dead. I have no sympathy for them. I have sympathy for the child. I wish she was born to a family that loved her and cared for her and wanted her to be alive. But she wasn't. I understand that it's not possible for all children to be born to parents who love them. I get that. But hopefully, as a society, we would encourage our government to care in a way that obviously her parents did not. A government who cared for its citizens would mandate vaccines because this death was preventable. This girl is dead for no reason. So soon we all will be. Will we get the flu vaccine next year? Probably not. What if the bird flu turns into a pandemic? Surely it's only 1 calendar year until we get an mRNA vaccine for that, right? I mean, other countries will do it because they have functioning governments with research facilities and everything, but our government, who doesn't give a shit about us, probably won't let that vaccine in. So how many people will die because our government doesn't support science? If you're reading the news right now, you're seeing all these people who were in these trials for cancer treatments, and they're just getting all their treatments canceled because the funding was, illegally taken away. And like they're mid-treatment. Research is how we treat diseases. I would love for everyone to not die from cancer. And if we cancel all that research, we will die from cancer. And that sucks. What a fun little PowerPoint. This is why functioning governments fund research.